Keisha Robinson.
Kimberly Trotter.
Misty Morgan.
So the first question I have, obviously sitting in, watching these videos, as parents, could you just take a moment to explain a little bit about how you feel with the idea of the district showing these videos to your children, and then also the potential of showing it to other parents and how it could benefit both of those groups?
I feel that it's very informative, and it gives the students a great outlook on what to happen if they were to share pictures of themselves without the covering of the bathing suit, like she said in the video. It's a great example to let them know that, hey, this is what's going to happen to me if I do this, and this is what I'm facing down the road. And I think it's very informative for parents and the students to listen to and watch it.
As a parent, I appreciate the school doing this and showing these videos and being proactive about it. I can raise my kids one way, but I can't really control how anybody else raises theirs. It's also good that they're getting it from an authority such as a school system, as far as knowing all the consequences involved. I also think it's great that we're starting at a young age. Kids are exposed to social media and digital devices younger and younger, so they need to know how this can affect them the rest of their life. They can't even fathom the rest of their life at this point, but they need to have it grounded them from all sorts of directions on the consequences.
And then also with the vaping video, just pointing out, I think having that conversation, because vaping is still kind of new, and so parents need to know the consequences of vaping on their end, and then also on the students' end, getting those just having that conversation at a younger age, that it is something. We had to do the same thing when cigarettes started becoming a big deal, so we're going to have to treat vaping in the same kind of fashion.
I heard one of you mention that y'all weren't even aware of some of the punishments, and some other parents may also not be aware of that as well, and to where this may be the only chance that they have to hear these these consequences that come with issues such as that. Could you just talk a little bit about your personal experience, if you learned something from these videos, and if you were able to your eyes were kind of open to a little bit of the severity of some of these things?
So I was unaware that Alabama didn't treat teen texting differently than adult texting, as far as sexting and things like that. So the punishment is no different whether you're 13 or you're an adult. I think a lot of young people don't know that. I don't think a lot of parents know that. So it literally does follow you throughout, and you're going to be labeled a child pornographer no matter the age. If you even took a picture of yourself and sent it out, I don't think a lot of young people realize that. No, I didn't realize a lot of the details in that as well.
And being on a list for so long, where you get out of high school and you go on to college. Well, they even mentioned scholarships, losing scholarships because of that, and then jobs, and you want to move into a neighborhood, like she said. I mean, the things that you just don't think that will follow you forever. She really summed it up nicely for parents and students to realize the consequences of that.
Go ahead. Okay, I'm sure you all parents, your mothers have already had these conversations with your children, and if not, is this more of a push to maybe go home today and sit down with your children and talk about these issues?
Oh, most definitely. Even though my kids are young, they're 8 and 9, and they don't have cell phones, but hey, they have friends that do have cell phones. So let your friend know. I'm going to sit with mine. Again, I talk to them just like she piggyback off what she said. You can push it at home, but there's other parents or other households that don't teach their kids. So I'm going to make sure my kids know, hey, this is the ins and outs. You don't want to get this behind your name and it'll follow you the rest of your life, because you want to play football, you want to play soccer, you want to do this and that, but like you said, it follows you for the rest of your life. You can't take it off, and it's very important that you follow by this for you can live a great life without it following, because everybody's gonna know, hey, you're on that list, this is so-and-so, you buy a house. That paperwork is going to everybody's house. I've even got one in my neighborhood, and I was like, oh my. You know what I'm saying? So that's scary. So yes, I'm going to sit down with my kids and let them know, hey, this is the consequences. This is what's going to happen. Even though they're young kids see stuff on social media. And some kids are more exposed than most kids. You can shelter your kids all you want to, but once they go outside your house, it's a different story.
I agree. My youngest is 11. He doesn't have a phone yet, but he is heading into the upper elementary school, then to middle school, and then I have a middle schooler and some high schoolers. So the high schoolers, those conversations have been had. They continue to be had. But it is important, I think Superintendent mentioned that we see most of these problems in middle school. Those kids are finding out who they are, they're trying to fit in, they're trying to be cool, and so that sometimes means making very poor decisions. So those are conversations that I might not necessarily have had already with my youngest, but I'm definitely going to now, because he is going to be heading into that unknown age where he's going to be with older students now in some of his classrooms. He's going to be exposed to a lot of friends that already have social media and phones, and so it's important, I do think, to start as younger than you think that you need to start. Would probably always err on that side. Go younger.
Yes. And I've had a situation with my son before, so we've had to have these conversations at a young age. But it's nice to continue on, like she said, they have poor judgment sometimes, and so they might forget. But I appreciate that the school district is trying to let them know how to get out of a situation like that. That if someone sends it to you, what to do in that. For instance, where delete it and tell someone immediately that you received this picture, and then making sure they know the consequences if they don't do that. So not only talking about it, but giving them that way out as well was very helpful.
You're all three mothers. You've just seen the videos. Is there anything that as a parent that you are alarmed about of the videos, are cautious about of the videos of the school showing, or are y'all satisfied with the content the school is putting out?
Fully satisfied.
Yes, very
Yes,
satisfied.
Very, yeah.
I think it would be helpful. My children are aged 11 to 16,
And mine are 8 and 9.
Mine's 13.
and I think we all agree that
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
inappropriate for every one of those age groups and grade levels.
So if any rhetoric started from anybody about these videos, y'all dispel that rhetoric because you've seen them and approve of them.
Yes.
Yes.